Io vorrei chiederti quando hai capito che il mondo della musica poteva essere il tuo futuro?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I was about 7 years old when I started to just pretend to be a professional singer. And all of a sudden it sounds quite nice. And then I thought, oh, that's fun. Maybe I'm going to do that. So that was really a very, very early stage in my life when I decided that I wanted to sing, that I wanted to be successful, and that I wanted to be famous, because it's fun to be famous, believe me. And this was my concept of my life, and this was my goal that I wanted to achieve, and I just worked like that. You know, I have a goal. I want to have a Grammy. I'm a singer, so obviously that's the thing that I want to achieve. And in every episode of my life, I reacted like that. I had this goal, I had the vision, and I was going for it without any, excuses.
Innanzitutto complimenti per la domanda, perché è veramente interessante. Io quando avevo 7 anni già facevo finta, giocavo a fare la cantante di professione, era una cosa che mi divertiva, sognavo di farmi un mestiere, quindi in realtà ero abbastanza piccola quando ho capito che volevo farmi un mestiere. Volevo avere successo, volevo diventare famosa, perché diciamocelo, è divertente, è bello essere famosi, ma questo atteggiamento mi ha accompagnato tutta la vita, perché io avevo sempre questa forte determinazione nel perseguire gli obiettivi. Sono una cantante, il mio sogno è vincere un Grammy, e quindi questa determinazione c'è stata in ogni episodio, in ogni momento della mia vita. Non ci sono scuse, quando si ha un obiettivo bisogna lottare per perseguirlo.
Right away, and I had no clue what this language was supposed to be, or who this woman ever was. And I don't know. I found the song Goldfinger on the compilation of my mother, and I was singing it all over and over again. And you can imagine it was not quite cool to be 7 years old and singing Shirley Bassey. But I did, and over the years I just listened to her voice so closely and imitate her in kind of way. And I think she gave me singing lessons. And every time I say it, I'm a little afraid that she sends me a receipt because I owe her money. But she did a very good job in giving me a singing lesson without knowing it.
Quando avevo 7 anni il mio punto di riferimento era Shirley Bassey. Non la conoscevo, non conoscevo la lingua, l'inglese, però c'era Goldfinger in una compilation di mia madre, io cantavo continuamente questa canzone. E in effetti non è molto cool per una, insomma, a 7 anni mettersi a cantare un pezzo di Shirley Bassey, però ascoltavo continuamente quel pezzo e imitavo, cercavo di imitarle la voce. Quindi in qualche modo Shirley Bassey mi ha dato delle lezioni di canto senza neanche saperlo.
Won Eurovision, and the publisher came up to me and asked me if I want to write a book about my story, and I said, well, thank you, but no thank you. I'm just 26 years old, that's way too early to write down your memoirs. But they forced me to think about it, and I said, well, if we want to release a book about myself, it needs to be a book that I will buy my own. And books that I buy are featuring many pictures. So that's what I did in this book also. I just love to tell stories about visual things, you know, there are these pictures and little stories around it. And so I really fell in love with the book, and I told my story in 4 days to my ghostwriter. And he did such an amazing job in just getting the chance to watch your whole life, you know, in such a short amount of time. I learned so many things about myself, so that I'm today just beyond proud and happy to have this book now released in 6 languages, which is just enormously great. I'm very thankful for that. Oh, well, now we go step by step. The first question. I think, actually I don't take myself too seriously, if I'm honest. It's just really something that I always wanted to do, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun for me to be on stage, to sing out my heart, to do a catwalk, to do a photo shoot. It's just to me really what I wanted to do so badly. And I think because I can enjoy it so much because I have a true private life. Because without the wig and without the lashes, nobody would recognize me, and I can do whatever I want. You know, I have a normal life. I do my laundry, I do the dishes, I go to the grocery store, I take the bus, the underground, I just do what, you know, what we all have to do in our everyday life. And on the other side, I get the glamour and the glitz and the fairy tale world, and this is just truly fun to me. And well, that's when it comes to being famous. Should I stop? Okay. This lady is incredible. I could never. I tried to, you know, catch up and rehearse my Italian, which is non-existing. And when it comes to the expo, I didn't know that he's here. Well, I say like he, but he's my friend, Mr. Putin. I would love to meet him actually. I said that several times. I think I really would love to understand what it actually means to be Vladimir Putin. I would love to understand what does it mean to be Barack Obama or the Pope, you know. I would love to meet those people because I think you can learn so much, and to just understand why, well, in this specific case, Mr. Putin made decisions that I'm not very happy with. I just wanted to get the point why that came all about, because I think once I could understand it, I could say like, well, but you're wrong. You know, so it's, on the one hand, I'm very nosy. I just want to know what's going on, and on the other hand, I would love to talk to him because I think it should change his life.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for your question. So, what was the first one? I was sorry at the UN now, but wait. Oh, the tour. Thank you. Oh, here we go. We're planning on, well, I'm actually allowed to promote my album and my book all around the world, which is a huge honor, but it's not a tour in a traditional way. So, you know, because I'm basically not Madonna, so not thousands of people would show up. But I am allowed to sing in all these places that I'm allowed to visit. And we're going to Japan and back to Australia and to the United States. So, and there will be little concerts, but not like, you know, the Conchita tour. But one day I will. Then when it comes to the book, and especially reliving my whole life, I turned to my ghostwriter and I said, well, you should actually get money because you're writing a book, and on the other hand, because you're doing kind of therapy. But he said, but I'm just listening to you. And I said, well, you're right. And gave me an advice. Anyhow, it was a beautiful process as I said before, I learned so many things about myself that I didn't know, or I didn't believe that I had in such an early state. Because, for example, I always been very self-confident, although in those days where I thought that I wasn't. But when it comes to a point where there is something going on, like being not respectful with one another, I always stood up and said, well, that's not going to happen. Apologize or whatever. So in specific moments I always have like this self connection to myself where I'm brave enough to speak up. So that was a beautiful thing for me to realize. And when it comes to the United Nations, I met Ban Ki-moon last year, and that was just incredible. I was allowed to give a little speech, and I would love to do it again, because it, in the first place, it really gave me so much, especially getting the request by Mr. Ban Ki-moon that he wants to see me. I thought that, first of all, it must be a mistake, because I think he's looking for another bearded lady, because it's just me. And then we had this talk, and I thought, I was just so thankful. There are actually people out there who have so much influence in our society, who believe in kind of the same things I do. And that's such a beautiful feeling that it could go in a way where we can live in a respectful way together. So I would love to meet him again, and I would love to talk in any of these very powerful places and with these influential people, because, as I said before, on the one hand I really want to grow myself, and on the other hand I try to give what I think is right to our society.